Okay, I'm doing this video for anyone out there that's searching for an injury that they may have gotten and they had no idea what they've done to their knee. Talking about the knee in my case, my right knee. I was exercising, namely I was doing wind sprints, and now I've been doing wind sprints for months. This wasn't something new that I just started doing. Had a routine, jogging, running, and but then I would go and do wind sprints. But anyway, one particular afternoon, I was doing my wind sprints, and while I was doing them, I heard my knee pop. Now, right away, I knew something was wrong. It wasn't excruciating pain that I felt. It was a slight pain, but not nothing serious. But I knew something was wrong because right away I couldn't. I had to stop. Like I literally stopped mid stride, kind of just walked it off and tried to walk it off. Anyway, I limped it off actually, and all kinds of stuff was going through my head as you can imagine. Like, well, what did I just do? I knew what I just did wasn't good. I knew that. I knew that it wasn't just like a sprain or like a pulled muscle. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was something more deep than that because, well, first I heard the pop, this audible that was unmistaken, coming from my right knee, and I had no idea still what it was. So anyway, of course, I went and I iced it. I did the whole ice thing, iced it, and compression, elevated it. Relax, ice, compression, elevation. And I'm thinking, well, the pain immediately, most of the pain I felt right away was behind my, I don't know if you can see, I'll show you. It was behind my knee. Um, well, this is my right knee. It's not a really good picture, but it was behind the knee. Like here's the top, here's the front of the knee, and directly behind the knee. I felt this like a little slight inflammation and some sort of a slight pain back there. It was basically what it was. It was filling up with fluid. At the time, I didn't know what kind of fluid or where the fluid was coming from, but it was filling up with fluid back there, and that was what was causing the uncomfortable feeling back behind my knee there. But that was the majority of the thing that was going on. So I'm thinking right away in my head, I'm thinking, well, it has to be something like that. It has to be. So I was looking up on the internet behind the right, behind the knee type of injuries, from hamstring to calves to tendons to all different types of cartilage you got back there, from ligaments. I'm searching on the internet, like, what could this be? And none of it really made sense. Everything that I looked up, I read it kind of like, well, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. I kind of rolled out all the ACL, MCL, LCL deals, the that whole ligament thing, and then I kind of rolled out the tendon thing, but not really. I wasn't sure. I might have tore a tendon, because the tendon, I believe the tendon connects the hamstring with the calf back behind there. But anyway, and that's what I was thinking. Well, maybe I tore that. And I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking. I have no clue what's going on. But at the same time, see the inside of my this inside of my knee, inside part, the medial part of my knee, was giving me slight pain too, right in here. You know what I mean? It was this combined with behind the knee was giving me, behind the knee was because fluid was filling up. On the medial part of the knee was hurting because that's where the actual injury occurred. At the time, I didn't know this though. Um, so I'm like, well, what could it be? I mean, I got this whole side of my knee, the inside of my knee, that's giving me slight pain and discomfort now in the back of my knee is too. Now, mind you, I didn't go to the emergency room right away because I didn't want to. I just didn't think that it was necessary. I thought, well, let me just, hopefully this can just, let me do the whole rice thing and let the swelling go down, and then I'll be okay in a couple weeks. I'll be right back at it. But as time went on, I realized it wasn't getting any better, and my range of motion was what was concerning more than anything else. It was I use a demonstration of my left leg because it's obviously I can't do my right leg; it's bandaged up. But you can stretch your leg all the way out. That's normal, right? You stretch it out all the way out, and then you can bend it all the way too, where you can touch your heel, your foot to your butt. You know what I mean? The heel, your foot to your butt, so you can close it all the way, and then you can stretch it all the way. That's normal range of motion. Well, with my right leg, I couldn't do that. So it concerned me. That was what concerned me also. I couldn't do it. It just wouldn't allow me to do it. It hurt too much to do. I couldn't do it. There was something that was in the way, but I couldn't figure out what was in the way. What was the problem? So finally, I got enough sense, and I finally broke down and went to the emergency room, and they took a X-ray because they can't take where I'm from anyway. They can't take MRIs at the emergency room. They won't take them right there. You know what I'm saying? You have to get either order from your doctor, your family doctor, or the emergency room will give you an order to go. They'll refer you to the orthopedic doctor's office, and there at the orthopedic doctor's office, you'll see somebody, and then you'll get an MRI ordered. So you kind of got to go through all this red tape. And actually, I probably should have went to my family doctor first, but that's another story. I didn't go to him first. I could have got the MRI rate ordered from his office, the referral thing. Well, whatever. Anyway, I went to the ER. They did an X-ray. The X-ray at the emergency room was negative, of course, because it wasn't my bones, and that was good. So then I go and I get referred to this orthopedic office, and it was a wonderful office. First, they examined me and said that they wanted to have an MRI done. Okay, that's when she ordered the MRI. A physician's assistant looked at me, and she said, "Okay, I want," because she did the whole range of motion thing. She tried to, she realized that I needed an MRI, so she ordered an MRI. I got the MRI done, and went back for the consultation about the MRI, and I got the bad news. Basically, the news, I knew that it wasn't right. I just didn't know exactly what was going on. But basically, what was going on was my meniscus. And I can explain what a meniscus is, but I'll do that in my next video because I don't want to go past 15 minutes here. But I'll do another video about the meniscus. But basically, everyone has a meniscus. It's between the two bones, between the femur or whatever the top part of this bone is, right in the bottom. Then they connect at the knee. And I got a picture there on the TV right now, if you can see that. But that's the meniscus. Anyway, everyone has, I believe, two menisci or meniscus. There's two of them, I think, from what it looks like. Anyway, maybe not. Yeah, I think you have an inner and an outer meniscus. Don't quote me on that. That's what it looks like anyway. Anyway, I tore my inner meniscus on my right knee, the medial meniscus on my right knee. I completely tore. It was on the MRI. The doctor showed me the MRI, and basically it was just hanging. It was like a piece of cartilage hanging, right? It was just hanging there, like it was supposed to be whole, like a normal meniscus looks whole. It's like a roundish shape type thing. It's like a cushion that you have, a natural cushion that you have between two bones, and it forms at the knee. Well, anyway, this meniscus that I had was torn, and it was hanging. That's the popping sound that I heard when I was running. I heard my meniscus pop, and when it popped, part of it was left hanging. Okay, so he was explaining to me that he has to cut that out. He has to get rid of that because that was the culprit that was enabling me or not allowing me to extend my knee all the way out, because that hanging part of the meniscus that was just hanging there, that was what was preventing me from stretching my leg all the way out and closing it all the way. That was the culprit. That was the suspect and the guilty suspect, the proven guilty suspect. Well, anyway, so he explained we have to cut that. So if we cut that, then it will no longer be there. So I can use the range of my range of motion back in my leg. And then what they do is they go in there and they cut all the hanging meniscus, the hanging parts, whatever's hanging. They kind of clean it up. You know what I mean? They kind of go around and they sand it like you would wood. They kind of like go around it. They cut all the hanging parts around it, and then they kind of sand it. They kind of buffer it. You know what I'm saying? To make it nice and whole again, nice and tight, nice and working again. Now the downside of that, of course, is now you have less meniscus than you had naturally. So arthritis might be a problem, in the future because of that. But that's down the line. I don't need to worry about that now. But anyway, I have to be careful with it. I can't, I can't overexert it is the problem. Now, I'll just be happy to be able to walk again and to be able to walk at a fast pace again. I'll be happy to be able to do that again, and that's what I'll be able to do. So I got to kind of baby it. And that's just how it is. Not baby it in the sense I'm going to have to rehab. I'll get back to I'll have it full strength and I'll do the correct rehab for it. But I mean, like, I can't go full crazy wind sprints again is what I'm saying. So I might just have to do fast walking or maybe a light jog. But anyway, I'll be over that range of motion back. I'll be using my leg back. But that was what happened. I tore my meniscus. I popped my meniscus, and that was the popping sound I heard that just baffled me. And that's why the side of my knee, the medial part of my right knee, hurt, because that's the meniscus I tore. And now when for some reason, I don't know the science behind this, but when the meniscus tears, when it breaks, it releases fluid. I don't know what the kind of fluid is. I have to do research, but it releases fluid and it settles behind the knee. This fluid that the meniscus releases, because it's torn, it all like funnels all the way, and it goes and it ends up in a pool, like a pool of fluid behind the knee. And that's where I had that's where the behind the knee discomfort came from just this. And now that the surgery is done, that's going to start to just go away, because it's not going to be filling up anymore. It's going to, like, the water was turned off, so to speak, to the pool. So you're not going to get that, like it was cut off. The fluid was cut off, so now it's just going to evaporate into however, fluids evaporate in your body. And there's no longer going to be a pool of that back there, so that's a good thing. Anyway, let me cut this video off. I can do a part 2 of this.